they're grilling out a little bit later on tonight. So finish up what we got.
Okay.
Which is cool. But yeah, it was good. Drank some brew. Pretty much drank off and on all day. Hadn't done that in about 3 years. So,
Nice.
But yeah, that's about it.
All right, nice. Maybe All Day might be joining us. I know he's at a doctor's appointment.
Yeah. He finally he's at the doctor, but I think he'll be joining here shortly. So
yeah, originally I had it scheduled for 3 p.m. Eastern, but I had to delay it for another hour because dinner ran late. So I was like, all right, let me just hoping I'll delay it by an hour and stuff like that. But it seemed to work out and stuff like that. Right now I've made it. We're live now. Just to get the panel going. So we already got people. Stephen King's on. We got Nick up in here. Mark Woodland joined up. You know what I'm saying? So little by little, people are coming in. Chris Jones. Already the dude Chris Jones just comes up. Salad Rev is a racist. Now your thoughts. Just do, bro. I'm telling you, the fuckery. Telling you, bro. YouTube fuckery is at an all-time high now. And people thought this was gonna be a boring summer. Oh shit!
Hey, Puerto Rock, you see when you leave the States, man, everything goes to shit.
No, man, you know what I'm saying? Like I left gaming in the hands of everybody in the community, and everything becoming a World War zone. I mean, I'm talking people hate lesbians, Rev's now racist. I mean, what the hell's going on, bro? You know what I'm saying? No, we're going to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? The Ruhan, $5 super chat. What's good, PR77? What's good with you, brother? I'm good. The panel's good. We enjoy our 4th of July. I hope all of you had a great time. You know what I'm saying? Mark Woodland, our fellow cousin, from England, from the Brits, the way America's looking, these Brits are thinking, damn, thank God we lost. And stuff like that. Hello? Everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, no, because everything went super silent. I was like, oh, snap. And stuff like that. So, Craig, how was your family and everything?
They're doing okay. It's a tough time for us. The 5th year anniversary of my dad's death will be
I'm sorry to hear
Saturday. But that's okay. But we're moving. We're past it. It's just a little tough this week. So I appreciate everybody's they're reaching out, family and things like that. But family wise, my niece is fine. She's working at friggin' Old Navy, so she's doing good, and everybody else is doing fine. Just trying to survive the heat because it's brutal.
I feel you, man. Yeah. So out here in Germany hasn't been too hot, just simply because of the location. We're hoping it gets hotter. You know what I'm saying? But some people say, the Germans out here saying that really summer out here is only like 5 weeks, and then it gets back to being cold. I'm like, wow. My wife is hating that. But other than that, everything's good, man. Game is good over. I'm almost finishing up with Detroit Become Human. God, that game is so good. You know what I'm saying? Oh, shit. Hey, what's going on? Oh, yeah, Kratos, you there?
I'm here, man. I'm here.
All right. Oh, no. I thought you had some technical difficulties.
No, I'm here. I'm good. I'm here.
I thought they shut you down. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, they try every day, brother. They try every day.
All right. Okay. Cool, man. But I'm glad everybody's, in best of health and everything. The channel is up and live. They're addressing questions. They want to talk about crossplay. They want to talk about Solid Rev and all that stuff. Man, everything's going wild and stuff like that. But hey, I want to say to everybody in the chat, I appreciate you showing up. I'm gonna try to have this podcast consistently every Thursday around this time. Simply just to keep it, going. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully the panel can make it. I know you appreciate all 3 of us together. Hopefully the bearded baby could join us because that's the 4 horsemen. You know what I'm saying? I think it was us 4 and Fonz. It was the 5 of us, and it was a really good crew. So I say, but I know life happens and stuff like that, and we do the best that we can, when we can. And I tell you this, I appreciate whatever time you guys spent with me on this podcast. I really appreciate and cherish your opinions and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because the truth is, I know everybody calls me the professor, but the reason why I only have all this knowledge is because I'm one of the few that actually sit back and listen to other people. Because believe it or not, I like to learn more than teach. You understand what I'm saying? I like to sit back and listen to views, just listen to people talk, and I just sit back and I actually listen, even to the ones that are some of the dumbest opinions. I try to listen to see if there is some level of merit to what they're saying. Because I give every opinion a chance, because you never know, it could be something that I can use later on as a book of knowledge. So I try to soak up opinions, you know, and I value the opinions Craig has, you know, Fonzarelli, I definitely cherish his opinion. The Bearded Baby all day, you know what I'm saying? Definitely look forward, and I love his opinion and stuff. But so anytime you guys could come up here and give your opinions, I truly appreciate that. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, man.
So let's kick.
Always a pleasure.
Definitely, my man. We got my man. You know, Flaffy 1101. He says Anita Sarkeesian's cuck boy is Neil Druckmann. We're gonna talk about that. All right, because I think that's where all. I think that's all where it stems from. Right. Okay. So here we go. So we're gonna start off the Naughty Dog Agenda. All right, and this is what we're gonna talk about. All right. To backtrack a little bit, Robin Gaming, a popular YouTuber, a big, huge fan of PlayStation and a huge fan of Naughty Dog, released a video with his concerns about the upcoming The Last of Us 2 and the direction Neil Druckmann is going. Most of it is based on Neil Druckmann's affinity, or you could say his inspiration of Anita Sarkeesian, right? Because of this, he had a concern that the quality that Naughty Dog is known for in terms of storytelling and character development can potentially be poisoned or retracted or get worse simply because the focus isn't on story and character development, but trying to pass an agenda, right? Which is the SJW, Anita Sarkeesian, you know, and that whole shebang, right? Yeah. This led to videos, conversations about, you know, women being placed in video games seems forced. Developers should be able to do what they want to do. The SJW is putting a stranglehold on gaming, which ultimately led to Solid Rev, also known as Saladcast on Twitter, to making a comment about, you know, that he doesn't agree about being force-fed to play as a chick or as a lesbian. That's not what he wants to see, and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Now, probably they didn't notice, but this evidently created a spark of people finally going out on Twitter, on YouTube, whatever social media, to finally address what they want and what they don't want. So you have, you know, you got African Americans, black people going out. Well, you know what? Since everybody's saying this, I'll be honest. I'm tired of playing a white male hero. I want a black hero to identify with me. If everybody's saying they don't want to play as a chick lesbian, I don't want to play as a white dude either. You know, and then you have other people saying, hey, I want to play as a Spanish dude. I'm tired of playing this guy or this guy. You're right. I would like characters to represent me. Where Solid Rev messed up is he made a tweet saying, you know, and I have to paraphrase, but he said that he's tired of these black dudes complaining about playing as a white guy when the majority of developers are white. So therefore, you don't have to play these games. So just don't buy it and move on.
Yeah.
Now, here's my thing. I responded to that tweet as a hypocritical tweet. I didn't see it as racist. I saw it as hypocrisy. Because when dudes want to complain what they don't like, he had an issue, despite the fact he had no problem addressing his issue about being a lesbian female main character, which he can't relate to. So I saw it as hypocrisy, and I thought the gaming community will eventually see it too. But of course, some people, whether it's to troll or because their reading comprehension sucks, they assume that it was a racist tweet. And once you say the big R word, that's it. That became the topic. So he deleted the tweet, and now some people think he's racist. The people that know him say he's not. The whole topic now completely lost the main thing of what was wrong about the tweet. Now it's all about racism, which the truth is it's not. The tweet was hypocritical, not racist. It was hypocritical. If anything, the fact that so many people called it racist, that actually saved him, because it's a false fact. It's not, I mean, it's a false information. It is not a fact. He can prove he's not racist, and the tweet wasn't racist. So all he has to do is make the people claiming that it's a racist tweet look stupid, and then that's it. the discussion's over. The fact is, his tweet was hypocritical. He's pretty much saying, I can complain of what I don't like. Everybody else shut the fuck up and deal with it. That's where I saw. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. How the hell you gonna go and complain about you don't want to pass a female because it doesn't relate to you, yada, yada, yada. But when other people using the same focal idea you have, that they want to pass characters they can relate to, now it's a problem. Now it's no, be quiet. Just deal with it. No one's forcing you to play these games. What do you think about that?
Well, I'll put it like this. There's two parts to this question. I'll tackle Solid Rev last. The first, Naughty Dog decided to tackle real life issues. And guess what? Lesbianism, gay, being black, being a female protagonist or whatever. That's real world. That's and if people don't like real world type subjects, then they may want to seek another game. But what you have is the standard bearer for video games have always been white men, right? That's even in the world, just from history and everything, is always being told from a white male point of view. So anytime, that's everyone's baseline is a white male. So anything that does not start with a white male is out of the norm for a lot of people, and they feel shaky. They feel something wrong with that. So when you start to bring up historical facts about women being in the military and being a very important part of different world wars and theaters of war, and when you have black people being brought out, shown, hey, we had a very important role in war, a lot of people, it's hard for people to comprehend that. For two things: educated. A lot of people are not very educated in the things that they talk about, and they haven't brushed up on anything not taught in school. School does not teach a variety point of view. It teaches from a white person, a white male point of view. So that's one thing. And then and the second thing is, hey, it's Naughty Dog. This is their company. If they want to create a game showing two lesbians kissing, if you don't like it, don't buy it. They have over and over and over again shown you that they can tackle different subjects, different variety in games, and still be badass. Look at the Lost Legacy, right? A game that had two women in that game kicking ass, and that game is still a top tier rated game. So they have proven that they can do what they do when they want to do it, and their games are going to be great. If you don't like it, don't buy it. Okay. The second point of view is Rev. No, I don't believe he's racist. I think he's been poking a sleeping bear with a lot of his analogies and stuff, especially when it pertains to women in games, play as a girl or a female. But I took that more of him just trolling, right? He's just trying to spark conversation and get people all riled up and roughed up. And that's what he does. So my interactions with him and me seeing his tweets over the years has always been that. So all I look at it and say, oh, this is just Rev again, playing with a bee's nest. And it seems like it got a little bit too out of hand now, and people are all outraged or fake outrage or whatever you want to call it. But do I think the guy's racist? No, I don't. Do I think he's insensitive? Maybe so. But again, he's coming from that typical white man point of view, right? This is my world. This has always been my world. Anything outside of my point of view is outside the norm. Therefore, I don't want women, wearing the pants and going out getting a job doing this type. And I'm being stereotypical now as to what the bravado is projected from a lot of white men. But I'm doing that to make a point, right?
Yeah.
This is how things are supposed to be, and I don't want to see anything outside of that. That is where his mindset is coming from. That where his point of view coming from. Now, to a lot of people, they'd be like, you know what? It's 2018. I mean, we had a black president. We have prominent Latinos in different places. We have a lot. The world has changed. It's not just the Archie Bunker crew anymore, or the Al Bundy crew anymore. There's other things outside of that, and I think that's fine. That's okay for people to say, hey, why can't I play as a customized character that shows me a character that looks like me and is portrayed like me, whether I'm a woman or whether I'm a male or whether I'm black, Latino, or whoever. I just think that's coming with the growing change. People like to cry and scream, "Oh, this is a SJW, a social justice warrior." But my whole point with that is, what's wrong with wanting change? If you don't want change, then you're okay with the status quo. And if you're okay with the status quo, then I think the majority of the people in the world will look at you with a side eye and look at you with that solid rev type look on the side in the corner of their eye. So that's my opinion on it.
Okay, yo, Craig, can you give some insight on what you think?
Yeah, let me unpack this here. I'm really trying to be fair. I was disappointed in his tweet. I do look at it more as being hypocritical. This whole notion that somebody, I'm really trying. Here's where I'm stuck. I'm stuck with people saying I'm being forced to play as this. Nobody is coming to Solid Rev's house or anybody else's house making them go buy this stuff. They are making a consumer decision to buy it. Now, they don't have to buy it. Okay, that's where we have to start. If he could say, you know what, I don't want to buy it. That's it. That's the end of discussion. I'll wait for something else to come out. I'll play Madden, stuff like that. Now, I don't have a problem playing as a woman, as a lesbian, because lesbians like women, and so do I. So, I don't have a problem with them showing that girl kiss that girl because I like kissing women too. I mean, so there's other things, but the two people that, I guess the people that podcast with him, that's the people that I'm side-eyeing now. Because it's like, look, like J-Dub said, he's been poking the bear for weeks and with some of his comments. And now that it's the bear done got him. And I don't know him personally, but there's some of the comments that I've seen him, that you get kind of tagged in and stuff like that. I'm like, man, look, if I had a daughter, I would have an issue with what this man is saying. So, and I think it's I don't know if he's racist, but some of that stuff I've seen him put out there could be taken as sexist, so, but I mean, if you don't want to play something or go watch something, or I mean, this is happening right now in the movie community with Marvel. You got a bunch of, like J-Dub said, white males complaining because Miss Marvel is going to come and help the Avengers take on Thanos. They're like, there's no way she should be this powerful. I'm like, yeah, they said about 4 years ago she's going to be the most powerful Avenger. So, you got a group of people who don't like the changing demographics. The hell with the point that when in World War II, when those B-52 bomber pilots, they were white males, they were all gun-ho and happy, but when they got orders to go bomb Berlin, their asses got tight. Who did they reach out to for fighter escort? The Tuskegee Airmen, a bunch of black dudes. Yeah. Got them home, got them there, got them back, didn't lose a plane. Yeah. So, when you look back on even Battlefield 1, that there was a guy on the cover, a black dude on the cover, and people were complaining then. Yeah. So it's is an ongoing problem that, and again, I don't blame EA. I don't, EA makes, I don't blame EA, BioWare, whoever's making these games, because you've always had, when I play Mass Effect, you can use the characters. There's a stock white male and a stock white female. Now you can go in and change that. Or you don't have to. You don't have to, and that's just the choice. Now, maybe they can add some more characterizations and stuff like that. But I just think overall, I'm disappointed in the people that he podcasts with, because somebody should have called him up and said, "Look, I understand you have a right to your opinion, but you're really walking up to a line that once you cross it, you're not coming back." And go ahead.
The thing about it was that is typical Rev. That's what he does. If you haven't watched any of his videos, that's what he does, right? He says stuff to get a reaction out of people. That's why I didn't take it in any other fashion. I just figured, hey, this is just Rev being Rev. So if you watch him, you know what to expect from him. Not saying that that's okay, but that's another reason why it didn't sway me one way or another.
Yeah, like I agree with Porter Rock. Here's where I have a problem with all this, and I think it's all bullshit. If you don't like the fact that there was a black man on the cover of Battlefield 1, or they put a woman as an homage, let's just make this clear. That woman on the cover of the new Battlefield game is just an homage to all women that served during World War II. You need to go read your own history books. You know, the fact is that nobody is making you go buy these games, and you are sitting down on your computer or on your phone and typing out, this is wrong, this is an SJW. I mean, look, Malcolm X is an SJW. I dare you to get in my face and say something about him. Martin Luther King, SJW. Okay, want me to keep going? Abraham Lincoln, SJW. The three men that went down to Mississippi and got murdered by white guys for just trying to help people register to vote, they were SJWs. I mean, so you're the fucking problem, not these other people that are just making games. I mean, there's gay people that make games. There's women that make games. There's black people that make games. There's a black man in charge of that Cyberpunk game. He's in charge of it. So, you know, so yes, you can expect to see some black characters in Cyberpunk. You know, but it's disappointing. That's all my whole point is that it's disappointing. So I'm not going to say somebody's racist because I don't know. It's a disappointing comment. I'm going to leave it there. It's just, in the whole situation with Robin Gaming and stuff like that, it's disappointing. Okay, not, you don't have to buy the game. He can be a big Naughty Dog fanboy. You can say, look,
nope.
Have to buy it. He can go buy it. They just released Crash Bandicoot. They released, go play it. Or don't play nothing at all, but stop bitching. You know.
Interesting. And I think this whole topic beyond solid, going back to Robin Gaming, I think the source of the issue is Anita Sarkeesian. All right, everybody hear me? Everybody's good because they're saying we buying whatever.
Oh,
you good? Am I coming in good? Hey, Craig, you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, I good. Okay. Hey, Kratos, you good?
He's muted. He's muted.
Oh, he's muted. Okay, he's probably busy driving and stuff like that. All right. So listen up. So here's the thing. So Neil Druckmann at one point said, you know, he agrees with Anita Sarkeesian. He agrees with her views and stuff like that about the whole messaging of how women are treated in gaming and stuff like that. And if you look back, remember Gamergate a long time ago?
Yeah,
that was a very bad time for gamers, where every gamer was painted with a broad stroke brush as all of us being racist, misogynist, cruel to women and all that stuff, that we don't appreciate women, the gaming industry and all this stuff. Shout out to Ryan the Professional. Hey man, thank you for the $5 super chat. He says got to show support to the family, man. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. All right. So at that time, listening to Gamergate, you know, I mean, I even seen some of her videos on Feminist Frequency. Jesus Christ, they were completely misleading. I mean, I remember she was breaking down the video of Hitman, the one part where you walk through like a nightclub and you have to sneak past to try to kill somebody. She made it seem like the whole point of the game was to kill hookers and shit like that. And the reality, that's only like a 2-minute segment of the game out of the whole game. And to be honest, the whole point of the game is to not kill the hookers. It's to sneak by and to make sure no one notices you so you can kill your target, and that's it.
Yep.
So she completely used the game and misrepresented the game and all that stuff. And I, you know, and that was and I made my points back then, but that was such a long time ago. That was even before I had a YouTube channel. But it just seems like anybody who associate with her is automatically the bad guy. With that said, Neil Druckmann, he's getting inspiration from her in terms of making games with powerful female characters that are designed by nature not to be sexualized, but to be viewed as a force to be reckoned with. All right? That's the type of game he wants to make, right? Me personally, I don't have an issue with that because every developer got inspiration from somewhere at some point. For example, I'm playing. Most of us played Detroit Become Human, right?
Correct.
Where did David Cage get his inspiration to create that one segment where the girl's getting abused by her father? Who knows how many sources or what books he has, but I'm pretty sure something helped him develop that story. I don't know who, but he got inspiration from something to help develop character story. Me personally, I don't really care where your inspiration is coming from to develop story, just as long as your story is well developed. Whatever intent you have behind creating a character, it makes sense, it's good, and I enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Now, people are saying no way of defending Anita Sarkeesian. I'm gonna tell you, I don't care about Anita Sarkeesian. I don't give a shit about her. I moved on from that whole Gamergate. I moved on. I don't watch her stuff. I don't look at her Twitter. Until today, I completely forgot. Until Robin Gaming's video, I haven't heard that name all over that whole time. Until I saw, the Naughty Dog Agenda, it's been a minute since I heard the name Anita Sarkeesian because I don't care. She's going to have her views. I'm not living by keeping up to what she do, and I'm not out here to fucking, fight her all day. I don't really care. And to me, she's not even the biggest threat for gaming. To me, she's irrelevant in gaming. To me, the biggest threat in gaming is actually politicians. But most gamers don't want to talk about that for whatever reason. To me, politicians are the biggest problem, right? Politicians are the ones, little by little, blaming gaming for all these mass murderers, and they will eventually put legislation to suppress the creative rights of gamers or developers and restrictions on how we acquire games and potentially what games we even buy based on the level of violence. You see what I'm saying? To me, that is a bigger threat because they have the capability to inject laws on how developers make games, the type of games they make, who's able to buy them, which can cripple the industry. So to me, the biggest threat in gaming are the politicians who are trying to protect guns, and they're trying to use games as a scapegoat to all the violence that's going on. And it's getting closer. All right? Everybody here is like, oh, the SWJ agenda. Listen, people, gaming is already officially a mental disorder.
Yeah.
It's a mental disorder. It's officially. Notice there's no mental disorder for Netflix or cable television.
But
they already legally gave precedence that gaming can be a mental disorder. That is the first step to also saying gaming can lead to violence. That's the first step to mental disorder. It's already happening. We're already there. We can already be considered mental and have psychiatric issues. You know what I'm saying? And it could get worse. They could literally create boundaries. They could literally say, if you game for more than 4 hours per day, you have a mental disorder. And they can officially tag you with that. And there is nothing you can do about it once it's officially a medical record. It's already happening. So to me, politicians and the medical industry is a bigger issue than Anita Sarkeesian. Right now, all we're seeing is a game with a lesbian character being whatchamacallit, pro whatever. I don't give a fuck. Don't buy the game. What can you do if you go to school, right? And let's say, a counselor at school talks to one of your sons or daughters, and they find out that your kid plays 3-4 hours a game, and they officially go to child welfare, to all those places, and say, hey, this kid has a mental disorder because his parents allow him to play 3-4 hours a day. This kid needs to get medical attention. And you could fight all you want as a parent. You could be like, nah, man, my kid's okay. Nah, we're going to go to court and we're going to force you to take your kid for medical attention. Because it's medical. It's already written in stone. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That to me is the real issue. And I'm going to send the link to J Fonz. Hold on, J Fonz. I see you.
What's up, J Fonz?
All right. So what do you think about that, Craig?
Well, yeah, let me just say real quick. I work in the medical field. I do billing and coding. And yeah, it's only been accepted because the United Nations, of course, they have to ratify. Well, ICD-1011 was dropping anyway, so that's one of like the 30,000 new codes that they put in there. But real quick, the American Psychological APA, the American Psychological Association, they've not accepted that yet. They're just like, yeah, right. This is,
not yet. Not yet.
I agree with the long-term agenda. Ultimately, they just want to be able to write prescriptions for it. That's who's pushing that is the pharmaceutical industry. But I mean, I don't disagree with what you're saying. Like I said before, I was disappointed in Robin Game. I'm not mad at his opinion. Let me make that clear. Everybody's got a right to their opinion. I just don't see an agenda here. I mean, this game came out, the first game came out, what, in 2012? And something like that. And so the new game is coming out and, 6-7 years later. Yeah. I just don't see an agenda when to me, the game is not going to make you gay. Okay, if you got an issue, it's just not that big a deal. Now, you can say, well, they showed it at E3, and this is one of their bigger shows, blah, blah, blah. Yes, they did that for shock value. E3 was close to a month ago, and people are still talking about the kiss. That's why they did it. Keeps that game in the news. I mean, it's not like Naughty Dog has come out doing press every day to keep it in the news, So, but overall, that game did exactly what it was supposed to do. It transitioned. I mean, people aren't talking about Puerto Rock when that girl pressed her face against her sweat transferred over. People aren't talking about how technical that trailer was. I mean, Digital Foundry did. I mean, and you had a couple of sips running around talking about, oh, that was on the PS5, but they don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. So big deal. So you had to deal with that. But ultimately, I just don't see an agenda. Somebody's gonna have to really school me because yes, women did fight in the war. There are lesbian couples that kiss each other, so, and like I said, I like kissing women so they can kiss all day. They can kiss all day long. So,
hey, Jake Bonds, welcome to the panel, brother. Night here. I'm looking forward to your take on this.
It's been a while, man. 60 frames, man.
Yeah, man. Taking it old school.
I'm back, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, good. Sorry.
All right. Go ahead. I want to hear your take, Jay Fonz.
Dude, this is hilarious that you started up 60 frames because I had just got done watching your video and then had a conversation with my 19-year-old daughter about all this.
Yeah.
She's a gamer too, by the way. So I talked to her about this and we discussed Robin's video and stuff. We watched that as well. And she was actually like laughing at some points with Robin's video because the absurdity of it all and people that are going around backing this video. Look, we all have opinions, right? I'm not mad at Robin either, but I think it's just kind of foolish to put something out there like that because it flies in the face of, it's so contradictory to what gamers know and believe. I mean, come on. If you actually believe that this agenda he speaks of, which mind you, he doesn't really say what the agenda is.
That's what I'm saying. Some people say the agenda is pandering to SJW. No, that's not an agenda. That's Neil Druckmann admitting that's why he agrees with their viewpoint. That's not an agenda. That's him getting inspiration to make games like that. I want to know what the agenda is, what the goal when it's all said and done.
And when you said that in your video, I clapped because I said, exactly, there has to be an end point with this agenda. And just pandering to this SJW crowd or whatever you want to call it, that's not an agenda. Okay. Now, if you're saying the agenda is to make your kids become gay somehow or make people become gay, it's like, excuse me, but as far as I'm concerned, that doesn't happen in that way. If you are like me, okay, not everybody's the same, but I believe that, if you're gay, you're gay. Nothing's going to just switch that on and off for you. Not going to happen. All right. I'm not going to suddenly sit there. I don't play games. Like I don't play a Tomb Raider game and then suddenly have the urge to go out and buy a little tank top and run around in skimpy shorts. All right. That's not going to happen. This is video games. This is make believe. And these are stories being told. I just think it's foolish, because if you honestly believe that this is some way to indoctrinate kids to become gay, then you also have to believe the narrative that video games cause violence. I'm sorry. You have to believe that as well. If you're going to believe what Robin is saying over there, then basically, and that's the absurdity of it, is the fact that he's basically saying that these games influence you this way, but wait a minute, they can't influence you being violent? No, I'm sorry.
That's my biggest fear about this.
It doesn't work
Yeah,
that way.
yeah.
They,
You can't pick and choose.
you can't pick and choose how a game impacts a person's psyche. You can't say, "Oh, they're pushing agenda so that way they could make us gay and all this stuff." Well, other people are saying make us murder. Oh no, the game don't make you a murderer. Wait, well, hold up. You know, where's the left and right lateral limits of what a game can and can't do in terms of influencing a person's decision? That's not how it works. You know, again, I think this all stems from the blowback of the whole Gamergate on Anita Sarkeesian, and some people didn't let it go. They want to fight this huge fight, which to me doesn't really matter. I don't think, like I said, I don't think that's the biggest threat to gaming at this point. I think the biggest threat to gaming is politicians and what they're trying to do. All right, you know.
And this is what's sad about, but here's the thing, and I have to disagree with what you said earlier, though, Porter Rock. When you said the biggest threat is the politics and politicians, I don't agree. I think the biggest threat to gaming is gamers. Okay, and this is one of the reasons why. Because when an influencer like Robin here on a content creator that is an influencer here on YouTube has tons of followers and people that will hang on to every word, when they start to believe what he's trying to say here in this video, then that is just cause for concern, because that also pushes the narrative, like I said, that video games cause violence, and this is just a steamrolling effect. Yeah. And to me, I think people need to hold up and just really look at it for what it is. Use some common sense and logic here. Have you ever played a game where you decided, hey, this is influencing me to be this or that? Okay, I have not.
Here's the thing, right? YouTubers, I've never once looked at any YouTubers' gaming habits or what they prefer in gaming and said, yeah, I'm not going to buy this or I'm not going to buy that. So I think I wouldn't even call YouTubers influencers. I just call them personalities, because ultimately I don't think any YouTuber influences anybody's purchasing habits. I think people watch YouTubers for entertainment. And so again,
I don't know about that. I have a lot of dudes eating chocolate. I have a lot of dudes eating that Brooksfield chocolate ever since I made those videos. I'm not lying, bro. You have no idea how many people coming at me saying for showing these damn chocolates. I'm like, oh shit.
No, let me explain. Let me explain. It's like when these I've seen it with my followers on YouTube. Okay, they'll ask me, hey, what do you think about this game? And I'll tell them, hey, I like it. And they'll say, well, because you like it, I'm going to try it. It's happened to me. It's happened to other YouTubers. They do hang on to other YouTubers' words. People tend, if they like a YouTuber a lot, they'll tend to start to want to believe what they're saying. It happens. Okay.
Yeah. I have dudes playing Neo because of me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because I talked about it so much. They said they gave it a try and they're like, yo, this game is the bomb.
And even though these are all opinions, that's right. It's all opinions, but sometimes opinions can be damaging. And I'm not saying Robin's video is all that damaging. I'm not going out there and saying that, but I just don't think it was a great video like people are saying it is. There is no real explanation when it comes to this whole agenda. Yeah. I'm still trying to wonder, okay, what is the agenda, Robin? Tell us. Tell us.
I mean, if the agenda is Neil Druckmann wants to create games that empower women and go in places where gaming hasn't gone before, like with lesbian relationships, and who knows, that girl that she kissed could be a key point in that game. Maybe she gets killed, and now this girl becomes a raging murderous bitch. Who the fuck knows how that relationship is going to end up, you know? If he wants to go there, I don't see an issue with creating more females that, you know, are empowered and violent and like to lick choach. I don't see it. It's a story. That's what they want to do. It's a creative story.
Somebody in your chat, you know, he's saying, Fonz, have Robin invited. Stop speaking for him. I'm not speaking for Robin. I'm asking the question. I'm putting it out there. What do you mean by the agenda? I have no idea. Like, because there has to be an end game here for an agenda.
And that's
why I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in Robin's video because he did not elaborate on that. I'm not. Yeah, he has an opinion. That's fine, like you were saying, Jay Fonz. But I agree 100%. What is the agenda? Because to me as a consumer, if you see something you don't like, you don't have to buy it. If you taste something you don't like, you don't have to eat it. I mean, it's just
Ryan Landy's asked me. So YouTubers can change minds, but games can't. I'm sorry, but no other YouTuber can make me gay. I'm sorry. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, that's not you. Yeah, you can't change your mind when it comes to your sexuality. That's not how it works. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I know some people, and I saw some comments. Some people use because of pandering to SJW, Neil Druckmann changed how Uncharted is supposed to be. I'm like, listen. Like for example, in Uncharted 4, they had a girl. Well, apparently it was supposed to be a boy, but because Neil Druckmann took it over, the child that they have is now a girl. I guess it should have been a boy. So some people are. I mean, I'm serious. That's a comment.
Put a rock.
No, and here's the thing. Robin Gaming said that in his video too. It should have been a boy. I'm like, really?
Well, he also
you have to be very insecure. As a gamer and as a person to let that affect your enjoyment in gaming. If that is to those details, if that really affects you that much, something, I don't know if happened to you as a kid or you dropped on your head or something, but something is very wrong with you.
Yeah. Here's the because I see somebody saying so gays can't influence kids. Here's the thing, so I could help everybody out, right? Especially if everybody's an adult or a teenager, whatever. Don't answer the question. Don't write in the chat. Just answer this question for yourself. At what point in your life, whether you're 7 years old, 10 years old, whatever, did you say to yourself, you know what? From this point on, I'm going to be heterosexual. That's the decision. So from this point on, I'm going to live the life of a heterosexual because that's why I want to be. Who here ever made that decision? Because I tell you, I never made that decision. It was just never at no point said, I could look at Mark Anthony's ass or I could look at J-Lo's ass. Yeah, J-Lo's ass looks better. I'm going to stick with that side of the fence. That never happened. There was never a decision of ever me looking at men attractive in that manner. Never. I never saw men at any point me being sexually preferring men. That never entered my mind. I just naturally gravitated to women since I was a kid. When I saw a pair of titties, it gave me an erection. When I see a girl shake her ass, I used to stare. That's just what happened. I don't remember it ever being a decision. So here's my question. Do gay people have this almighty power where they could turn it on and off? I don't think no human being has that power. I think you're right. And that's who you are.
Yeah, you're right. But I just think in the end, you just have to put it's simply put, and you said it in your video, and it was perfectly said. If you accept this narrative, you also have to accept the narrative of video games cause violence. And that right there just stopped it.
I agree. That's the main thing. If ultimately, if you think gaming can influence people's ethics, their morals, how they decide who to become, who they're gonna be, then you have to accept the negative side of those decisions. People could be wife abusers, beaters, murderers. That it's all part of that whole psyche.
What's funny to me is I've noticed that when you look at this stuff, that people are always quick to point out, SJW, snowflake this, but if you look at the people that are doing this, they're doing just as much pushing or complaining and all this stuff. They look just as bad as, we have a lack of self-awareness, out there in this day and age. And it's so funny to me that people love to point fingers, but they don't want to look in the mirror.
Yeah. At the end of the day, Neil Druckmann took over the project because Amy Hennig left. Let's push that out there. She left because she was, she tried to do bigger and better things with EA, and that didn't work out. I feel bad for her. I think now she's gonna go the indie developer route. I wish her the best of luck. But that's just how it is. Neil Druckmann was the next senior developer, writer, whatever, and he took over. And this is his vision. He found inspiration in whatever he wants to. At the end of the day, this is his creative story. You either like the game or you don't, just like any other product. You
Rex,
like
Yeah,
what's they're selling, or you don't.
hey,
I
so
still don't
Rex,
see why it's a big deal. I just somebody's got to really explain to me why this is gotten to this point, because we have a choice to either buy it or not buy a big deal. I mean, the girl was already, nobody cares if she just goes around and commits homicide after homicide, talking about who she's kissing. What the hell's wrong with you?
you know, you got somebody in the chat, Rex. He said, why is Naughty Dog pushing this gay agenda? What is the gay agenda? What
Yeah.
is that?
I really don't know. I did this.
Oh,
Here's the thing. Here's the truth. When I said it's all about the money. This gaming is now opened up to all types of diversity, all types of backgrounds, sexual preference, the whole
Facts.
shebang. And they're just trying to, and Neil Druckmann is pushing the limits. You know what I'm saying? But here's the funny part. This isn't the first time we had gayness in game. I remember playing that shit on PlayStation 1 with Fear Effect. The two chicks were gay.
That's right, they were.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Here's
But
the-
homo as a
guys, here's the
motherfucker.
thing.
I
Here's
know
the thing.
some people say that, you know, the gay agenda is all about normalizing it and stuff like that. But guess what?
It's
fucking-
normal.
It's out
Listen.
there.
It's done deal.
If it's not for you, if you're not gay, don't worry about it.
It's a done deal. They're getting married. They're owning property. They have TV shows. It's a done deal. It's there.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys.
You don't like it?
People-
You don't have to go to their wedding. No one's forcing you to go to their wedding.
People don't realize that there have been gay people since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
So I mean, people think all of a sudden, the last 20 years, there's just this whole gay thing. It's like, wait, this has been there since the beginning of time. So yes, instead of having these people hide in the closet and hide in fear of being beaten up and criticized or whatever, now it's more. Now they have rights, and people hate those rights, right? People hate to hate on people. That's just kind of been what it has been. But it's 2018. Things have changed. People are more tolerant. People are willing to be more open about their sexuality and about different social issues. People want change for the better, whether you think it's bad or not. Change, progress happens. You can only hold up progress for so long, but this was inevitable. So I think we ought to just be thankful that we have games that are good and that are inclusive. And if you don't like them, then go buy other games. You know, go buy your typical shooter and have a nice day. But you can't stop the variety out there just because of your own personal or political beliefs. I think it's a bigger deal than what it should be. But again, people like to complain about something, right?
Yeah.
Well, and you said, J-Dub, when we were,
if you don't like it, don't play it.
I mean, that's really what comes down to it. Just don't play it, and that's it. And leave everybody else alone who wants to play it.
yeah, let me say this real fast, because me and J-Dub, we did a podcast a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about Horizon Zero Dawn and stuff like that. And I said, well, you know what? I said, do you think when the new PS5 comes out, if it's cross-platform with this game, you think they'll make Aloy, you know, if there's a part 2, which we assume there will be, she'll be a little more muscular. And J-Dub was like, well, you know what? She's feminine, you know, so she's not going to be muscular and stuff like that. So I was like, well, you know what? You're right. They created, and it's the same with the character in Witchcalling. She's just not a sexualized object.
I don't know. That face says otherwise, bro. I don't know. It's
so yeah, but I just don't think. I think they're trying to create a character that's just not going to be over sexualized. Mm-hmm. There's a chance that could be their agenda with this game, because I'm pretty sure Uncharted. There's 4 or 5. There's 4. Even the girls in the Uncharted Lost Legacy, they're not over sexualized. They're just you know, they're trying to survive. They get cut, bruised, all that kind of stuff. So
and let's be honest, the over sexualization of females in video games were put in place to attract young teenage boys back in the day. That is why they were there. Like nowadays, you've got a lot of grown-ups playing these games. Like we don't care about this over sexualization of female characters. We just want to play a good game with a good story, great gameplay. That's all we want. Like it doesn't matter what we're playing.
That's it. At the end of the day, whatever's their inspiration, whatever, you know, every creative artist gets inspiration somewhere, from books, from movies, whatever. Just create a good game, whatever character you want to create, develop that character, make sure the character makes sense, relatable, you know, just do what you got to do to make a good character, and a good story so we can enjoy it. And then that's it. I don't care if it's a female lesbian that chops people's heads off. No more than it was a white male dude that's the hero. I didn't care for that stuff. None of that bothered me. I didn't care about it. It's just, is this game good? Does it have a great storytelling? Is the gameplay good? Because we're forgetting about that too. Apparently, gameplay is also important. Yeah. All this conversation, no one talks about the gameplay. That's all that I care about. And then for some use, is it in native 4K, 60? Whatever. Is it checkerboard? Whatever you found, that's all it is, But I think let's move on to the next topic, right? Unless anybody has one last pot shot.
Yeah, I do real fast. The people that are bitching about this around the world, go play Kirby. It ain't got no pain, so you can complain about that.
There you go. All right, last thing. All right, next topic, crossplay. It is still haunting Sony to this day. Here's my thing, and this is where I'm gonna take it to the next step. All right. It's gotten to the point where I got people still tagging me on crossplay. So my only reply now at this point is, why are you tagging me and not Sony and PlayStation? Because now, granted, when this started a few weeks ago, we all had the conversation. We'll talk about it. We'll call each other slaves, corporate slaves, fanboys, yada, yada, yada. Okay, we've been past all that. If you want to keep going in this direction, fine. But why am I still being tagged and I don't see at Sony, at PlayStation, when they're the ones you should be talking to? Because I'm going to let you know now, I'm not the CEO of Sony. I can't make this decision to enable crossplay. That's not within my power. So if people want to keep doing this, number one, why aren't they going after consistently the source of the problem, right? Or what they feel is the problem, which is Sony. And number two, why are they not taking it beyond just Sony? Why aren't they going after EA? Why aren't they going after Activision? Why aren't they going after Ubisoft? Because they play a big role in the overall scheme of crossplay. Because wouldn't people on Xbox who play Madden love to play against PlayStation gamers in Madden to finally decide who's the best Madden player? You see what I'm saying? So at this point, I'm saying at this point, why don't they open their aperture and actually now go after the industry? Because keep tagging me and other Twitters, that ain't gonna work. Some Twitters, they just gonna troll you. Others like me is not gonna give a shit because I don't care about one way or the other.
You know what it is, and I'm with you. I don't care one way or the other about crossplay. It's not a big deal to me. But I think the reason why they don't go after these other companies is because they're not developing games that are made for crossplay or that they want to enable crossplay on. These companies that are in question, like Bethesda now and Epic, they did make games for crossplay, or they want to. And Sony is not having it. And you know what? More games might come out in the future that want to do more crossplay. I guarantee there will be. Mm-hmm. Do I think Sony's going to budge? I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think Sony's going to open up to crossplay. I mean, forcing them to do so just seems kind of just not a good move. Like, to me, look, I understand there's a big $1 billion business in microtransactions, and they get their cut off of each microtransaction and stuff that's bought through their stores. But these games, all you got to do is buy it on one console, and you're done. Like, and I don't think they necessarily would want that, because they'd get less of that cut if somebody were to move their gaming over to, say, the Xbox and stay over there, or to the Switch or whatnot. They could make some money here, and I get where Sony's coming from. I'm more into this cross progression thing, where I wish more games would open up to that, where you can take your stuff, your characters, your gear, all that stuff wherever you want on any platform, provided you buy the game. And that would also be beneficial to the developers and publishers, because they would sell more copies of these games. You would have to buy one for each platform. And that to me would be amazing. Again, that's not great, because you would still have companies losing a little bit of money there with the microtransactions being bought and sold through their stores. So I don't know. In the end, to me, it doesn't matter either way. But that's why you can't really point fingers at certain companies. If they didn't develop their games to be cross-play enabled, then you can't really say anything.
Okay. What do you think about this, Craig?
Oh, well, after I look, I backed up on it a little bit after I talked to a couple people that run small businesses. They really, I mean, they don't. One is an engineer, designs high performance parts. The other guy does run a PC place here in town, and they don't, they're not console gamers. And he just said, look, you got to look at it from Microsoft's point of view, literally, that they really need access to going forward. They are the ones that need access to Sony's ecosystem. It's 80 million, whatever, 81, 75 million people out there that some of them may have Xboxes and stuff like that. So, but Sony does crossplay with PC. My understanding is I think some of the games they have are crossplay. They do it with mobile and stuff like that. So I just don't, I don't see why they would. It's the equivalent of somebody, like I said, there's a football team running the ball down your throat, and you go across the field and beg them not to do it anymore. It's like, no, we're going to keep doing this. You have to build a better mousetrap. But I think that that's why I think Microsoft's been pushing it from the executive level. Again, I don't see Sony's executives pushing for it. So maybe they are. Maybe they're having conversations. But I've seen nothing but Phil Spencer just bitching online. Just like, my God, dude. Make your own damn games and you'll sell more consoles. But it does make sense for them to want it going forward. It's like that great speech that Reagan gave. Tear down this wall, Mr. Gorbachev. I get it. I totally, and if I were in their position, I would do the exact same thing. I would do the exact same thing. So, right. But I was have to wait and see.
J-Dub.
Yeah. I'll tell you this, man. It's not going to be done until Sony feels like it's really hurting them in the pockets, or they could benefit tremendously. Right now, they're the leader, right? They are in it to sell their hardware, and they're in it to make sure that you play on their ecosystem and their ecosystem first. And again, this is a business move from the top, from Sean Layden. He says, look, they're looking into something down the line, but, where there's opportunities business-wise, they'll do it, if something comes along. But until then, you can't shame them into doing something that's not beneficial for their own well-being. The company is doing something right? It's the #1 console leader in software and hardware and everything else. So, again, I don't think you can bully a company into doing something that they just ultimately do not want to do. Now, once their sales start to slump up or it start hurting them in the pocketbook, then they may change their tune. But until then, we're just saber rattling on Twitter and YouTube, and ultimately the next big thing is going to come along, and people are going to move to that.
Yeah, the Naughty Dog.
I think the only thing that's going to happen out of this, if more and more games go crossplay, is that more and more people will just tend to buy those type of games on Xbox and Switch. Maybe there might
yes,
and
I agree.
And in the end, like if this keeps going on, you get more games that are like these big games like Fortnite. Then I think Sony would have to bend at some point because they want those customers on their platform. But until then, I don't think they're going to bend. I think it's going to be a while before we see them go crossplay.
Yeah. So you know what? Sony could be like, look, there's more people playing on our platform than anywhere else. Probably the other consoles combined because of their install base. Sony probably like, look, we've made our money anyway. Why should we allow this? I mean, that could be their mindset. We don't know, but like you said, funds. If more games come out like that, then they have no choice, right? They really have no choice.
I mean, when you look at it, we buy Sony's console because of their exclusives. That's really why Sony's console is doing so well, is because all their amazing exclusives. And I think that at the end of the day, that's going to keep them well afloat. And they're not going to really have any issues regarding this until, like I said, until another huge game comes out where it has crossplay, and they're going to be forced to do so to open up the gates.
Here's another thing with this from the business side that people probably don't really understand or get. That for the market leader, and you can insert whoever the market leader is. This time, this gen is obviously PlayStation, but it could have been Xbox, it could have been Nintendo, whatever. Crossplay for the market leader does not make sense from a business standpoint. because the one thing the market leader enjoys, whoever the market leader is every generation, the one thing they enjoy is their console is the one that's primarily owned by console gamers, which leads to other gamers buying that console simply because their friends own that console. So in this case, it's the PlayStation platform. More people own that platform more than any other platform. So if you got a gamer that's like, hey, I want to play Madden, Call of Duty, Battlefield with my friends, and your friends own PlayStation, then you in turn will get a PlayStation to play with your friends, which means now, not only does Sony, make the money of the console hardware purchase, which is not really the big thing. The main thing is the PSN subscription. They get money for that. The royalties of you buying Madden, Red Dead Redemption, Call of Duty, Battlefield, Anthem, Destiny, they make money off of that.
That's why I said cross progression makes more sense than cross play, because you still have to buy the console.
Exactly. You still have to buy the game. And you still have to subscribe to the service.
Exactly. You benefit from cross progression more than you would cross play. That's the way I want my games to go. I want to take all my shit on all these games, these multiplayer games and everything, anywhere. I want to take them on any platform I choose to play them on. Because most of these games, all these your gear and stuff is held on the developer's server side. It's not held at Microsoft or Sony or
like that would be cross progression would be amazing for Destiny. I think that game would benefit more than any other game because some people don't want to start all over. It's a lot of work to build your character.
Every friend of mine that plays games like this, I asked them, would you like cross progression? They all says yes. They would buy another copy just to play with their friends on those other platforms.
Yeah, and they could instantly have their character built. They did, you know what I'm saying? So I think cross progression is actually the moneymaker. Because you got people on Xbox who put all their time on the Xbox version of Destiny. They would play with PlayStation, but they don't want to put in all that work all over again. Like all those raids, the story, they don't want to do that. But if they could take everything they earn on Xbox and put it on PlayStation instantly and instantly do the raids, instantly be at the highest light level they are, they will instantly buy the PlayStation version of Destiny and vice versa. Everybody will do that instantly just simply because they don't have to put in the work all over again. That's a big hindrance on stuff. Because I have people I will play Destiny on Xbox, but I'm not doing that all over. Hell no.
I agree.
I play on both, bro.
That's a lot of work, isn't it?
It is.
I can't do that. Hey, I want to give a $5 pay the bills. Carlos Crespin, he says, Sony has crossplay with PC since last gen. No one talks about it. Microsoft should pick themselves up instead of begging for help. Sony did it last gen. I agree.
Let me explain to him why. Well, let me explain to him why. This is important.
Okay,
but real quick. Look, both Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, all these companies get analytical data. Microsoft got an alarming data sent to them when they were pretty much told more people would have bought Xboxes, but more people their friends had bought PlayStation. So they were going to just buy a PlayStation because that's where their friends were. Yeah. Now, what is Microsoft's response to that? This is why this happened all of a sudden. It's because they're like, okay, we got to create something to get people just not to buy the PlayStation. Microsoft wants to walk out on stage, wherever it's at Gamescom, whether it's on Bloomberg News, CNBC, and say, look, you no longer have to buy a PlayStation or a Switch to play this game with your friends. That's their answer. And again, it's a shrewd, that's why I hear people say Microsoft isn't fighting or not. There used to be this shrewd company. I'm like, no, this is a very shrewd move. Okay, they have data that says you would have sold more product, but people bought the other product because all their friends had it. So we have to now create a condition, if you want to call it fake rage, like shout out to King Thrash, internet rage, to get them to, because they've got to cut this off. They're trying to possibly build another console. They sold less 360, they sold less Xbox than they did 360, so they're trending down. Okay, which means their next console, based on the trend, they won't sell as many as they did with this generation. So based on the trend. So I'm not bashing the Xbox. So, but ultimately, that's what this is coming down to. And Sony knows, like Porter Rock said, Sony knows Xbox won't stop there. They'll say you did it for that game, you should do it for this game, or you did it for this game, you should do it for that game. It's a shrewd move. You gotta love it. I mean, you gotta love the business.
Yeah, this guy was, he was talking about Sony and PC having crossplay last gen. He's right. And don't you remember Sony? We've talked about this. Sony wanted crossplay with Microsoft. Microsoft with the 360 said no. Okay, because they were the market leader. Just
exactly.
as earlier. That is why they said no back then.
Yeah, they didn't want to give a reason to not buy an Xbox when everybody's playing Xbox. They didn't want to let that go. Market leader developing a market lead and taking over market share, that has its benefits for continued success of your platform. You know, you got a platform that's sold 80 million. You think Sony wants to let go of that huge advantage just so you can say, yeah, you don't have to buy a PlayStation. You can play with PlayStation guys by buying an Xbox. Like they don't want to send that message.
It's funny how people think that like crossplay is something new. It's not new. It's been around for years, guys.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, keep in mind, guys, just the last little bit on this. With this whole crossplay thing, you got to realize Sony pushes the message about their hardware. Yes, their hardware is very, very, very important to them. Microsoft, not so much, as we can see the trend going. And Phil Spencer, he's in interviews saying, you know, it doesn't matter what device you play on. We want you to play any and everywhere. Well, that's not the case with Sony, right? This is their bread and butter. That whole company is surviving off of the back of the PlayStation, of the hardware itself. So if they don't sell the hardware, if they don't sell the VRs, if they don't sell the pros and the slims, that company is going under. And so when you're asking them and trying to force them to do crossplay, you're putting them at a disadvantage where if they can't recover from that, if they lose that market share, they possibly can't recover, and that company probably will go belly up. That is a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Yeah, I mean, it's again, they know more. What I laugh about online is the people who think they know more than the company does. It's like, okay, there's a reason why PlayStation's new president walked out on stage and said, what? He doubled down on single player exclusive narrative games. Now, if you think he did that, he got up one morning and pulled that out of his ass. No, he got the data. He went to the shareholders and they said, yeah, go ahead and do that. And that's exactly what they're going to do. So, and guess what? You didn't see a backlash or people crying because what he said matches the data that they got. Yeah, your people don't give two shits about playing online. Okay, they don't want to call in to B2, and get one-man army. That's just not what they do. It's not that they don't do that. It's just they don't prefer that. So, and that's why he came out and said it. And again, Microsoft gets the data, Nintendo gets the data too. So it's just, but so people got to stop acting like, they know more than what these companies know, because they billion-dollar companies, for Christ's sake.
Okay. All right. So final topic, Spiderman. I guess Digital Foundry did a breakdown, and they're talking about, anybody read or saw the video of Digital Foundry calling it a technical masterpiece? Talk about it, J-Dub.
Man, so they called it a technical marvel and a technical masterpiece, and the game does run 1440p, and it's checkerboarded up to 4K as a lot of other games like Horizon Zero Dawn, yada yada yada. We can keep going on and on.
Yeah,
I don't. It's great to see that Sony is able to take a disadvantage from the hardware wise, right? From the hardware is very limited in a lot of the capabilities, but the output of what they're doing on the Slim and the Pro is I mean, Digital Foundry keeps saying it's just amazing that these guys are able to use these techniques. I guess you can call it cheating, right? Because it's not native. They're taking all of these cheating techniques to save on performance, and they're outputting this thing where it looks amazing. And at the end of the day, I think that's all that gamers care about. Sure, it's not native 4K. It doesn't have all the big RAM. It doesn't have all the big stuff that the X does. But for them to say, hey, that these type of games can go toe to toe with other native games in quality, I mean, that says a lot. And I think next generation, when the PS5 come, if they're not able to do 4K native 60, they can do mandatory 60 frames and checkerboard 4K. I mean, that is a good possibility because Sony has proven that they do have these methods to be able to free up the resources and do what's impossible. So I think, we're in a treat come September the 7th when this Spider-Man game comes out. And they also say that this is going to lead to other superhero games using the same technique. By the way, Spider-Man is running off of the same engine that Ratchet and Clank is running off of.
Okay. All right.
Really? Wow.
You know what I found incredible? Recently, the community director of Insomniac said that the PlayStation 4's Ratchet and Clank game is their most successful title in the company in terms of sales. And I found that like shocking, given that they make games for the PlayStation 2. They made games for the PlayStation 3 to include Resistance and stuff like that. They made multi-plats like Fuse and stuff like that. But yet this one game on the PlayStation 4 is by far their most successful product, to which only leads me to believe Spider-Man's on the verge of being their most successful game ever. Because I think like Jay Fonz, how much hype you think there is and how successful you think Spider-Man's about to be this September?
I think there's way too much hype for this game. I think it looks like a mess. There's
Go ahead. I don't know.
Dude, be all kinds of QTEs in this game. I'm just not looking forward to it. It obviously copied Rise. You can tell. I'm just fucking around. I am.
Hey, Fonz, you had me scared there for
a minute. But I'm telling you, but Rise, oh my God.
Hey, this game, dude, looks. I'm one of the biggest Spider-Man fans. I love Spider-Man. My favorite comic book hero ever. To be able to play him in a game that's not trash is going to be unbelievable, because most of the games were trash that we've gotten for Spider-Man. I mean, there was like one, I think Spider-Man 2, I believe it was. Yeah. It was decent, but the rest of them, oh man.
You were just forced to play them if you're a Spider-Man fan. You just had to deal with it. You got what you got. You want to play a Spider-Man game? You either play it or you don't. And like, all right, whatever. I played Web of Shadows.
Yeah.
I played them, and I mean, you just had to deal with it.
Yeah,
it was the only way to play a Spider-Man game.
I even played the trash one on the PSP. Okay. But no, even if you're not a Spider-Man fan, though, how can you not look at this game and think, man, that looks like a lot of fun to swing around that city and stuff? It looks amazing to me. Like the stuff that they're pulling out of the PS4 blows my mind, because as an X owner, I love my X. I think the games look phenomenal that actually use the power of the X, not games like freaking what is it? What says State of Decay? No, I mean, but the games that actually do utilize the power of the X look great. But when you look at the PS4, the base model, and you see some of these games, I'm just blown away with what Sony is doing with that console, or whatever it is. It could be that rapid pack math, whatever.
some voodoo,
but Spider-Man looks phenomenal, and I cannot wait to play that game, man. So all the hype is real, and it's legit, and it's, I think it's going to be well worth the wait.
Yeah, I think I agree. It looks fantastic, the game. Oh my God, this reminds me of when I first saw Arkham Asylum with Batman, because I'm a huge Batman fan. And when I finally saw that trailer of Arkham Asylum by Rocksteady, I was like, this is the Batman game I deserve. And you know what I'm saying? This is it. Fine. And I'm getting that same exact feeling with Spider-Man. Like, this is the game Spider-Man fans truly deserve, and we're finally getting it. And I'm telling you, I think this game is going to be insanely popular. I don't know. Now at this point, I'm thinking, damn, this game might even be more popular than God of War at this point. Especially with all the fever of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Spider-Man as part of it, all this, because everything is just Marvel. I think Marvel right now is literally controlling the Hollywood industry with their games, with their movies.
I was going to say the same thing.
Every year, the best movies is their movies.
This game is going to be the top-selling game this year.
Yeah. At first, I didn't believe it, but now I'm thinking, man, this game is the truth. This game is going to be huge.
It comes out at a perfect time, not too far away from the holidays.
Nope.
This game is going to sell like gangbusters.
It's going to be, because it's gonna launch in September, right? Which is a perfect time to stay away from all the big games, but yet it's still close enough that when we get into the holidays, the kids are going to be like, I want Spider-Man. I want Spider-Man. All my friends, they told me about Spider-Man. I want to play Spider-Man. That's what I want, Mom. And and even adults, oh shit, I just saw Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. I gotta play this game. The comic book junkies and all that stuff. Everybody's just gonna be all over this game.
Yeah, they're really the comic book world. They're really. I get direct messages all the time on this game, and they're really, really, really excited about it. They were just talking about it on a Popcorn Movie Talk last week. So it's going to be a big deal. I certainly hope it lives up to expectations. Don't sleep on Code Vein.
Yeah,
that game comes out like a week or two after Spider-Man. That's going to be there too in September.
Okay.
But no, I think overall though, but getting back to Spider-Man, the fact, remember, what cracked me up about the whole Digital Foundry thing was it was a night mission. And I remember people bitching, saying it must be on the daytime. So here comes their demo showing you the nighttime, showing you the lighting and stuff like that, the inertia that you're going to be able to swing with. Phenomenal, and certainly hope it lives up to people's expectations.
Yeah, and here's the thing about, because some people are like, how can it outsell God of War? Well, it's easy. It's got more universal appeal. You've got, explaining, Marvel, Spider-Man. I mean, for everybody from kids to adults love this character. So I think that's the reason why it's going to sell so well. And it looks like a phenomenal game. I mean, period. It looks great. So I think it's going to sell well, and especially if it reviews well. Oh my God, the thing is going to do crazy. Yeah. And it'll do even better than Red Dead Redemption 2. And the reason why I say that too is because as good as Red Dead Redemption is, I love that game. It doesn't have the universal appeal like this game. Just doesn't.
I know, like I follow like comic book YouTube channels like Comic Explain and Comic Historian, and I see from and these guys have like 1.5 million, almost 2 million, subscribers or whatever. And I see comic dudes who don't really care or talk about consoles. They spend their time talking about comics all day, comic fanboy wars and all that shit. Who's better, DC, Marvel, all that shit. They have their own little war on that side of the house. But when it comes to this game, they all pause that comic book war comic war bullshit, and they all unanimously agree. Some of those guys don't even have a PlayStation yet, but they said as soon as that game drops, they're getting whatever bundle, whatever collector's edition. You got millions of comic fans that don't really play games, but they will play this game because it's in there. It's in the industry that they actually care for.
That world is crossing over. You got a lot of them. If you just type in The Last of Us Part 2 reactions, just type that in. You'll get Strange Rebel Gaming. You'll get Emog Media Group. Those are movie people. Those are comic book people. Okay, they are watching. They're also watching. And you're right, Porter Rod. Millions of followers. I mean, there's a lot of followers over there that are really tracking this game. So I agree with Jay Fonz. I'm really, really thinking it may be the biggest selling game this year. I won't say it's the best game because I haven't played it yet, but it very well is. It's threatening Arkham according to the Digital Foundry video. They said Arkham in its third rendition, this game is already better on a technical level. Now we'll have to wait and see how it plays.
Yeah, that gameplay and storyline and everything of God of War was just phenomenal. It's going to be hard to top that gameplay wise. But man, this Spider-Man looks like Sony's got another damn hit.
Oh man, that's insane to have two huge games that are just like earth breaking. That's almost impossible. That's like, shout out to Stuart Stokes, $2 super chat. He says 2 best Spider-Mans, a ripoff of Rise. You know what I'm saying? Rise inspired the sunrise and the sunset on the globe, all right? When God said, let there be light, he played Rise first.
And that's why they say the sun rises. Okay?
There you go. That's right. That was that. Oh, I'm telling you, man, that was the funniest joke I've seen, But hey, I'm glad we were able to finish off the podcast on a lighthearted note with Spider-Man. I'm only J-Dub. Come on, brother. You get, the most toxic gamer ever. What do you think about Spider-Man?
Oh, again, it's going to be awesome. I mean, think about it. It's Spider-Man. What more can you say? I mean, it's just that one word, Spider-Man.
But I think it's a combination of Spider-Man and the developer and Sony treating it as a AAA title. I think it's a combination.
The best thing about it, it's not a movie tie-in, so they don't have to rush it for some movie as they've done pretty much all of the previous games. And it's a developer with a high pedigree of talent So I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait for the theme console to be shown off. I know guys are gonna buy that. Like Craig was saying, those collectors, even if they're not gamers, they're gonna buy it just because the same way they do the Star Wars bundle and so on and so on. So I mean,
And
I don't know.
they made Peter
know,
Parker gay, bro. These gay.
Oh man.
well, listen, I'll tell you this.
Gay Spider-Man. Instead of Mary Jane is Mark John. He's dating.
Oh man.
Hey, I want to ask you guys a question on this. If this became hugely successful, right? And which I think we all, we could make a good bet that it is, and Sony is able to grab another Marvel IP, right?
Mm-hmm.
What IP would you like to see them grab, and who would you like them to develop that IP? What Marvel property you see them want them to grab, and who do you want to take charge of that IP? We'll start with Jay Fonz.
Go ahead.
We'll start with Jay Fonz.
Go ahead.
What was the question?
All right, so let's say Marvel looks at the huge success of Spider-Man, and they're like thinking, you know what, Sony? If you want another Marvel property and you're gonna back it with one of your top devs, sure. Who do you want? Who would you like Sony to go after, and what developer to take charge of that Marvel property?
One of their in-house developers?
Yeah. Or a third party, but there is, again, just like Insomniac, it's going to be exclusive to PlayStation.
I would love to see what Naughty Dog would do with a game like that. Something different out of their element.
What IP, though? What Marvel property? You got to name a character.
Okay, I'll go with... we've never had a really good Wolverine game.
Facts.
Naughty Dog and Wolverine.
Oh man, can you imagine that?
Oh my God!
Like a Logan, game. Not like the one for the movie that we got, because that'd be too much like The Last of Us.
That's what they're gonna say. Oh, this is just The Last of Us with adamantium claws.
I think they could do a real gritty, Logan and just make it a badass game.
All right. Okay. All right. Hey, Craig, how about you?
The rumor is that there could be a possible Defender Luke Cage style game, possibly. They think that would cover the diversity with Matt Murdock being blind,
okay,
and of course Luke Cage, of course, I'm Luke Cage, bitch, So, but I would like to see Platinum try that.
Platinum Games take on the Defenders.
All right, just something like a Luke Cage Daredevil team up, because they've got a pretty good comic book run. Just those two characters.
Okay.
Just maybe try something
like Iron Man, Power Man, and Iron Fist type game, maybe.
Or that, yeah. But
Power
now,
Power Man, Iron Fist.
Right now the rumor is if Spider-Man does good, that Marvel may let them. Let's make that clear. May go to Sony to publish.
Okay.
Something like that, and Sony could choose Platinum as a third party.
All right. Okay. How about you, J Dubs? J Dubs?
He dropped out. He went to Popeye's Chicken.
Oh shit! So he's gone. All right. So he bought that. Okay. All right. So we'll finish on my two. So two things. Number one, is not even my idea, but once I saw it, I couldn't let it go. And some people already mentioned it in the chat. Is Naughty Dog and the Punisher game. So when they told me that, I'm thinking, holy shit, Naughty Dog and actually a Punisher. All right. My original idea was Doctor Strange and Sony Santa Monica Studios.
But you know what? I think if it's Naughty Dog Punisher, he could have a rainbow colored skull.
Oh shit! They said it was gonna be a chick. They said it was gonna be a lesbian chick, right? Mano Thor said only if it's a lesbian chick. And then I'm like, funny enough, they actually have a female character in the Punisher universe that's like him, and it's a female lesbian. And I put the picture on, he started laughing. I'm like, so technically, I forgot her name. Like Lynn something. So I'm like, there you go. But I thought like a Doctor Strange or Thor, but then Thor's kind of too close to God of War, so that's why I lean more towards Doctor Strange and Santa Monica. You know what I'm saying? Sony Santa Monica creating a game for that. I would like to see them two all stuff, and then I still would love to see Sucker Punch do a Flash game.
Oh, that would be great.
Yes,
Oh, that would be so
yeah,
good.
because when I played First Light DLC with that character, and, you know, the speed, that instantly made me think of Flash. And I'm thinking, damn, why can't we get a Flash game? Because her character is so good. Her running around the city, running up buildings, it was so much fun. I felt that was more fun than flying around, just running around at the speed of light.
That's a good point. A Flash game would be a good game because you got a good character. You get the effects. Oh yeah,
it would be fantastic. You know,
that'd be hard as hell to control, though.
No, but have you played First Light?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's similar, the same concept. You know,
hey, Flash is faster than that.
Oh yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, he can like go around the world 5 times. You know, I mean, I think it would be fantastic. I would love to see it.
You know what they could do? It could be that fast, but at times when he needs to be really fast, just sort of slow down time on within the world.
Yeah, but you know, but they just be copying off of Rise at that point. You know, now you just doing what Rise did. All right, people. I'm glad we finished off on a light note and stuff like that. Hey, thank you so much for rocking out with us. I'm glad J Fonz was able to hook us up. Hey, Stuart Stokes, before we go, gotta pay the bills. $2 super chat. He says open world Spawn game would be great. That's a great character. Spawn and he's black. He got burnt a lot.
If you all don't know, Jamie Foxx's cast is a new Spawn.
Is he?
So yeah.
No.
I would have liked Michael B. Jordan to do that.
Well, Michael B. Jordan he's trying to get back into
Marvel,
Black Panther.
It's Killmonger.
Look, I'm not big on his acting too much, bro. I mean, like he's a good look for a superhero, but his acting chops, I'm not all that good with.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. But anyway, thank you everybody for rocking out with us. Stuart, thank you for the super chat. Thank you everybody for the super chat support. Thank you everybody for rocking out with us. This is your boy Puerto Rock 77, your only friend on these YouTube streets, with the amazing panel of J-Dub, Jay Fonzarelli, and Craig, the voice of Xbox. All right. Check you out next week, all right, where we will continue with the fuckery. And if Luke is still listening, yes, we will continue to talk about crossplay. All right. I'm just kidding. Hey, take care, everybody. All right. And we are out of here. Peace.